States battleship, the Arizona. The Nevada was getting the steam out, starting to head towards the outlet, going out into the Pacific. When suddenly, without warning, at 7:55 in the morning, 183 aircraft from the Kaga, Hiryu, Soryu, Shokaku, and Suikaku, under the command of Admiral Nomura, suddenly and deliberately attacked America's island base at Pearl Harbor. The date, December the 7th, 1941. You are there. The Mitsubishi A6N0, the Nakajima B5H8, and the D3A dive bomber. 183 aircraft from the Imperial Japanese fleet, 250 miles to the north of the island of Oahu. Suddenly and without warning, our American base at Pearl Harbor, Haleiwa, Hickam, Bellows were all under attack. High above, the Ayachi D3A dive bomber, and 500-pound bomb between the wheel wells, comes down on the battleship Arizona, releasing that bomb. It goes through the foredeck right in front of the number 2 gun emplacement. That great ship exploded with such force, she took over 1,100 American sailors to a watery grave. They sleep there today. The Mitsubishi A6N0, the fastest aircraft in the Pacific Fleet, being chased by a P-40 Warhawk. Lieutenants Ken Taylor and George Welch managed to get their 2 airplanes off of Haleiwa when they realized that the Japanese had invaded Pearl Harbor. The problem was they only had 30 caliber guns in the wings because all of the 50 caliber stuff for the nose guns was in Hickam Field. A young Army corporal walked in the field in front of Hickam Field where they had all of the aircraft parked, just like the Blue Angels are today. He said, "Ken, I can see the whites of their eyes." He was a Pearl Harbor survivor. 2,400 perished at Pearl Harbor. Between Taylor and Welch, they managed to shoot down 5 of the aircraft. Lieutenant Ken Taylor went on to be a general in the United States Air Force. Lieutenant George Welch died in 1952, testing an aircraft. The Mitsubishi A6N0, very fast, long-legged airplane, had lots of fuel. Its downside was it didn't have any protection for the fighter. The Nakajima B5N8 coming in from your right. This aircraft carried 3 men. It had a torpedo between the wheel wells. As they came down right across the top of the water, one of them dropped the first one, then 2, then 3 of these torpedoes into the battleship Oklahoma. This great ship rolled over. It took 400 young American sailors to a watery grave that December the 7th morning, 1941. For over 2.5 hours, this battle continued. America was not prepared for what happened that December the 7th morning in 1941. But it didn't take very long for the young men who were based in Pearl Harbor to get their guns out, to get their anti only one that had steam up in the boilers that morning was able to get up and get moving. Started heading towards the outlet going out into the Pacific Ocean. But as you can well imagine, the invading forces were all over it like bees on a honey pot. Their commanding officer had to beach that great ship up on Hospital Point to keep it from blocking the entrance into Pearl Harbor, keeping us from getting out trying to find the Japanese Imperial. Listen to our President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as he goes before Congress the next morning. December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American I represent that day many American lives have been lost. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unwavering determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph. So help us God. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the commander that had this battle put together, was told we completely surprised the American forces. Our battle was very successful. He said, I fear we have done nothing more than to awaken a sleeping giant and fill him with resolve. And that's exactly what happened. That sleeping giant was young men and women in America. Moms and dads started putting together gardens where they could feed themselves while all of the food was going to our troops all over the world. Imagine an 8 or 9-year-old boy pulling his wagon through the neighborhood, picking up aluminum and scrap metal and cans, all of the stuff that can be recycled into the bombs and bullets and guns and teams and tanks, everything that our young men and women needed as they went throughout the world fighting against the Axis powers following December the 7th, 1941. Rosie became a resident. Right here in the valley, the Los Angeles Valley, became a huge hub of aircraft construction. All of the major aircraft were built and maintained right here in the LA Valley area. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it's the young men and women who put on the uniform of our great nation, carry our flag into battle. It is their sacrifice, whether it's World War I or II, Korea, Vietnam, the Panama, Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, wherever our young men and women fight, carry the flag into battle. It is they that allow us to be the greatest free nation in the world. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. I want you to do something for me as you see young men and women in uniform walking through the base throughout the day. I want you to take a moment and stop and say thank you. We appreciate what you do for us. Regardless of the difficulties that you have protecting this great nation, thank you. P-40 Warhawk, ladies and gentlemen, built by the Curtis Aircraft Corporation. 1,200 horsepower. China with General Claire Chennault flying against the invading Japanese forces. The Flying Tigers. I know you've all seen the story.